And we did fucking 300K in 10 days.
If you actually get people results, then bro, that they will just not like stop giving you money.
Bro, every day I was going to zero and back up. Every day.
And then I just remember raking up, I'm just like, bro, I just saw this person fucking dead in the hospital. I'm like, bro, like, I can do shit.
Also,
To episode 2, except we are now named Scaling Webinars.
that's all I got. Introduce yourself.
All right.
No, yeah, but seriously though, like on a serious note, what's up guys? So today we're here with our partners, right, who flew in from Canada today. With us in today from the 6th. So before we get into it, your name, where you're from, date of birth, and
Date of birth, bro. Social Security.
what do you do with the agency?
Name Shatish. I'm from Toronto, Canada. What I do in the agency is sales training, sales coaching, and date of birth, May 16, 2002.
She said that, but
Yeah, so I'm Audie. I'm from Toronto, alongside of KJ, and I help manage all the sales teams, and I build them all out. Date of birth, can't reveal that, unfortunately.
What?
But yeah, he is a minor, so.
all right, though, yeah. I'm Mark, and then that's Brian. So episode 2 here. So we'll start off the podcast by talking about like how we exactly all met, right? Because you were the first person to meet Audie first, and then
No, I here because I met Audie.
you met
Audie Furry. Yeah.
You got Audie. So how did you meet?
We actually met through a mutual. Shout out to Legend Splash. We were over at his crib. That's where I met Audie.
In Canada.
In Canada, yeah.
Yeah, so we went to Splash's house, and Splash is someone who's everybody knows in like the Toronto space, and he invited me to pull up, right? And then I come in and I see this guy KJ, who's I saw him on social media earlier too, and he was just dialing leads for an event. He was just locked in. We're all eating food, and he was in this room for like 2 hours. Like, yo, I'm not coming outside until I lock in a deal. And
You stood out for an event offer?
Yeah.
What was the offer?
That's Splash's event.
Oh, Splash's event. Oh, okay. So what, you sold tickets for it?
Yeah.
What were the ticket prices? The low ticket?
No, like I would just tell them the VIP, the PJ bought.
he was selling the tickets over the phone. So
No.
he was grinding there, and then from there.
And what were you doing at that one?
At that time, I was in a partnership where I was placing reps into companies that are specifically recruiting and staffing talent at that time. And that's how I actually met Bryant. I paid a consultant like $10K, and I didn't get too much out of it except like how to set up my Google Calendar.
Actually, you can't say you didn't get too much out of it. You got this out of it.
That's what I'm saying. I got an intro one day, this is a week before we canceled that consultation. So Brian, so I hop on a sales call with Brian, and I was just like, yo, this guy's that's not paying anything. I was like, yo, this guy's document pay a single dial. Probably, I was even on this call, and then a week later, he's like, yeah, I'm talking to my partner. How those go? I'm like, yeah, it's probably not talking to his partner. And then we ended up giving them a setter, and KJ's at my house because he was looking for a new offer, and he's like, yo, I need an offer. I'm like, yo, I have this one company that needs an offer. A year later,
Yeah, it was crazy.
And the funny thing is, though, so your mentor introduced, I was the intro first, right? And then I had Brian take the call. But after Brian was done with the call, then, we're not going to name the other guy. It was the other option, right? But it was the other option. You guys know who he was, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was the one that said, let's go with him. And then Brian was like, nah, this is like, Brian told us, right? And then Brian's like, nah, let's go with the other.
There was multiple times, we got to throw him under the bus, multiple times. So we kept needing more reps. He said, yo, fuck Audie.
Even when I was there, he said fuck Audie.
Bro, he's like, bro, it's him, bro. Why are we going with Audie, man, bro? Try to.
So it wasn't because of him, bro. Because of the other situation. No, but why'd you want to go with Audie though instead of?
Well, I think I'm just good fucking customer service, bro. I don't like. There's too much shit talking, but I just did like it. Simple as that. I don't want to get too deep into it because that was just shit talk.
And that's the importance of good customer service. We actually got into a bumpy part where with Bryant and Mars where they needed reps, and it was, my old partnership, some things were happening and our fulfillment was going downhill. So like technically I couldn't have been here right now. So one day I went in, I know customer success is the most important thing. I wrote them up a big paragraph, just being transparent with what's going on. And, these guys were very understanding, and that's how I continued working with them. So client retention was definitely big, and how I operate, having a high reputation. And, if I didn't send you guys that message, you guys probably wouldn't have been partners.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, and that is pretty very.
Well, how were you feeling, before that message was sent? Like, give me your thoughts.
Well, we were talking, and I was just like, bro, fuck this guy. Oh, it's okay. There's all the balls.
Yeah, bro, I was fending for Audie. I'm like, nah, bro, we're not switching.
He was taking up for you, right? Then Brian was obviously. It was really me. Like, I'm just thinking about it. bro, fuck this guy. Let's go with this other guy. Let's get rep. And then KJ was like, bro, nah, let's give Audie chance. And then, bro, no. You guys were right.
Yeah.
So now we're fucking here.
And I mean, let's share the full, like, we got the intro about how do we start working together on a higher level, right? And that was a crazy story. So obviously I came in as a setter. I lied to these guys, told them I was applying for closing when I knew I wasn't, right? Came in as a setter, slowly moved to a closer. And then me and Audie and our other boy went to Miami, right? And then we were in Miami, and Audie, he really well connected in Twitter. He was linking one of his friends for the first time. I'm like, Audie, I'm coming. He's like, yeah. Audie's like, yo, I'm meeting the guy for the first time. He doesn't know. I'm like, I'm coming, and we're going to make him sell info, right? Audie's like, all right, bet. So now we go to dinner with him, and then the entire time I'm just selling him the vision, man. I'm just selling how much money he could be making. And then I promised him, don't worry, we have guys for ads, marketing, funnels. They didn't know anything. Yeah. I promised everything, right? But I knew at the end of the day, they would do it. He was okay with it. We come back. I tell him. And we did fucking 300K in 10 days. And from there, we just clicked.
Then we did 500K. Our next launch in 15 days. We made him $800,000 from one conversation, which is crazy. Well, what made you think that he was gonna like print though? Because from the outside looking in, most operators, right, like he's not the biggest on social media on like the major platforms, right? Instagram and YouTube, right? But we were still able to make it almost $1 million in like 25 days, really, right? So like, what made you think that like, yo, like, I mean, this guy can make that kind of money? Because some people, they would have like passed up on that.
You know what's crazy? I just want to make more money. So like, I just want to make more money. So I'm like, yo, whatever it takes, we'll make it money.
Yeah, I think also too is the organizational aspect, because we have 4 different departments here that manage their own thing. So many operators are trying to do everything alone or just outsource some person to do a one-time thing. Like we all had our own responsibilities. And if one of us wasn't there, one of us messed up, we definitely wouldn't have done those numbers, because we did 300K with, was it 2K leads or less?
No, it was about 900 leads.
900 leads. And then the time we did 500K, it was based off of 2K leads total. Under 2K, it's like 1,500. It was 1,500, and we had to do 19,000 dials. And if one of us didn't do our training right with KJ, if I picked up the wrong rep, like every day was a war to make sure our targets were hit.
Yeah, that was. And back to what I was like backtracking, right? Because when you brought the opportunity to us at first, the thing that gave me the most conviction, and I think that a lot of, if you're a coach that's watching this, that gave me the most conviction in this was like, bro, this client's fulfillment is probably one of the best that we've ever seen. Like he was absolutely dialed on fulfillment. And if you're a coach and if you actually get people results, then bro, that they will just not like stop giving you money. Like he just had people, he has people in his community every single day now that are just asking just to give him more money in order to teach it, because he gets people results. Right. So that's
an important point with just sustainability, because we've talked to a lot of operators and they're like, hey, I'm just going to make a one launch, one time, make 200K for the client, and then they got to go find another person.
Yeah.
So me and Mark were talking about one of the most successful companies, Starbucks. Their biggest metric is LTV. So how much was
16,000?
That means an average person goes to Starbucks and they buy what, $5 drink? They're paying $16K in their whole lifetime. Now, what a lot of operators do is they only keep the $5 and then they're just like, oh, I'm going to go find another person.
Yeah.
And that's why fulfillment is so important. We don't work with someone who doesn't have good fulfillment, because what are you going to sell them after? Sell them one time and then your reputation's done?
Yeah, exactly. And like another thing is too, like when a lot of these operators go to do drops, they fully rely on organic presence, right? So after that first launch happens, they can't scale with paid ads, right? And I feel like that's what separates people who stay in the game from people who just make a name in the game, you know?
I mean, Brian, how do you leverage paid ads? Because Brian is the head of marketing. He needs the ad king. So Brian, like some sauce on ads.
Facebook will target exactly who you want based on the front end messaging. They will know who you want to target, who you want to reach based off relatability on the messaging up front end, and also as long as the landing page is congruent with the creators on the front end. On the second launch, we did at 500K. We spent just a hair over 25,000. I mean, collected over 500K, so that's what a 20x row is. Maybe I don't know math, but hey, close enough. I know numbers when they're in front of me, man. It's off the top of my head, nothing, but it really all comes down to just the greatest.
So me and Brian last podcast, we talked about like how we got started, the whole online internet money thing, making money online. So how did you get started?
Yeah, so the story's kind of funny. Well, it dates back to elementary, but I'd say more so in high school. So all my boys would go to high school and they would go get like poutine. If you're Canadian, you know what poutine is.
Poutine.
It's like fries and cheese.
He hasn't had poutine yet. He hasn't had poutine yet.
Yeah, we gotta have you try some. But all my boys, they would have $5 to get pizza or poutine. I also started asking them, they're like, bro, I'm not paying for your shift, you know? So I was like, fuck, you know, everybody would go out for lunch. So I'm like, yo, I need to make enough to just get $5 a day for pizza. That was my whole thing.
Oh, man, it costs $5 to get pizza?
Canadian, bro. It's just 2 slices.
Holy shit. Wow.
You know, that's like $3 US. Like,
Yeah, I know, but at school, bro. At school,
no, we go to the
oh yeah, you go to the
Yeah.
smoking us. And
Yeah, when I did that same shit in high school, I left we had a McDonald's on the bar, but I left every night, every lunch.
Yeah, no one
was eating. You hung the fucking fence and did.
no one was eating like their home lunch at school.
Yeah, no one. Especially have money and you're something close by, bro. I know why doing that shit, bro.
Doing that. So like, I needed this to make like $5 a day, and that turned into like making my first 1,000 a month, and 2,000 a month. So I had Instagram pages, meme pages, and then
The whole time I followed like 2 of him.
Yeah.
he went crazy. Yeah, so
Like, yo, collectively, you probably had over 10 million followers,
I
right?
5 mil across all my pages.
That's
So then I
insane.
started growing my pages. I grew my first page to 1 million, and then that one was a cash flow of 20K a month. And I went and acquired a few more pages, and then I was able to scale to 30, 40 in a month. And it lasted a few years. Then I kind of like went downhill, and I was kind of lost. But that's kind of how I started making money in the online space. It's really what kind of put me on the map.
you upload the memes yourself. So.
I mean, like the first dollar I actually made online money was from YouTube, right? But I feel like what kind of got me motivated to make online money was just like growing up, just watching a lot of stuff, right? So like one thing is like, you know, they never had Christmas or stuff. So I would watch like Roman Atwood's Christmas unboxing, right? I'd watch things like that, like, yo, I want that. You know what I'm saying? I want to do things like that. So that's what got me into YouTube. Because remember when you're young, like everyone wants to be a YouTuber, right?
Fucking vlogger.
Yeah. So I actually used to do Roblox and Minecraft in middle school, right? And Pokemon walkthroughs, right? And then after that, obviously, I made like $60. I lost it in some PayPal.
Oh, I've had like 8 PayPal scams.
Yeah. And then I shifted into, I think it got a bit more serious in high school. So I went to a Catholic high school, right? And it's just uniforms, but you can only wear nice clothes one day out of the month. And everyone comes dripped out. I didn't have money. So I'm like, yo, I got to make money to come dripped out, right? And then I met one of my buddies. He would always wear designer, like only like crazy designers. So I asked him like, yo, what'd you do to make that money, right? He used to resell designers. And then he actually showed me Iman Gadzi and all that stuff. And I also did Instagram theme pages. That's how I made like my first like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Then after that, I tried a whole bunch of other stuff, you know, uphill, downhill until, you know, we came here.
Okay. Wait, Instagram theme pages. So put people like, how do you guys gain like a lot of followers for Instagram theme?
So what I would do is my theme pages would be very directly niche, right? So it'd be like art, space, watches, right? What I would do is I would straight up copy my competitors, right? So whatever my competitors were posting that went viral, I would screenshot it, I would copy it. But the way I built traction the fastest was this. Instead of just following random people, I would go on my competitors' post and I would only comment or respond to the people that commented or follow the people that like, because those were the people that actually engaged with the post, right? And then I would follow them. I think I did like 3,000 follows. And after that, I got to like 5K followers, unfollowed everyone. And my shit just got thrown in the feed. And then what I would do is another way I made money. So one of my pages was like art, right? So my most viral photos, I would have a print on demand in my bio, right? So if people liked it, they could shop it. I would just order from Printful and send it to them and just middleman that.
Okay, dope. What about you?
Kind of similar to him. So like this was so long ago. Now this stuff doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's out.
Follow and follow thing.
I used to do follow to get my first 16K. Then I just unfollowed like say 7,000 people. That was in like grade 7. So I'm my first page in grade 7. I had like 16K.
How did that work?
Manually? I think I sold my page for like $200, and then I went and bought like some GoPro mount. But like that gave me a first theme of money, which I never used that once ever. I didn't have money to buy the GoPro.
Not the mount, but no.
I had to put my phone in instead. It's like some phone mount thing.
That's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, for 2 years, so that was grade 7. In 2 years, I was making no money. And then it goes into high school where all my boys were making money, or no one was making money. There's money for food. And then I started getting back into the pages. But yeah, I followed my way up. And then eventually there's just a network of pages and they all just help each other grow. Shout outs.
Yeah.
Posting good content. Back then though, when you're a private page on IG and you would send it to your boy, it would say, oh, you have to follow this account to get accepted.
To see.
Yeah. It was.
So I would make my account private and then just post really like big content that was like everybody wanted to see. And that's how it kind of grew. But now we can't do that.
But that was me, bro. Like I used to request so many fucking meme pages.
Yeah.
I'd be sending stuff and like, damn, I can't see it.
Sucks gatekeeping now, bro.
Yeah. And your Instagram method back in like 2014 to 2015 2017 was crap.
Dude, there's like a guy who's has one of the biggest pages, and I remember my boy sending me like his invoice tracker. He had like 7 mil in IG. You guys have all definitely followed him. And it was 8 months into the year's August. He had made 3.4 mil USD from promotions and shoutouts from companies. Just by having 7 mil.
You know what showed that Instagram theme pages were crack? Daquan got sold for $60 million.
Yeah.
Or 80. Yeah. Warner Media or whatever bought it for 60, 50. Because Daquan was getting 10 billion views a month.
Yeah. And that his page was crack. His page was crack. There's serious hitters in IG, and there's people who are very big still, but you got to have over 5 mil now to make a lot of money.
So how'd you guys get into sales then?
I kind of always knew about it. I follow this one guy on Twitter, and he posts about sales. So I thought sales was like drop shipping. I was like, yo, what is sales? You're selling stuff. And then I decided to actually attend a webinar while I was working at Lowe's. So after I made all that money, I kind of lost like 70K to crypto and options. Because I was around some like scammy guys who, they saw me load up 50K in an account, and I had no experience trading. And then I just blew it all.
Right? Everybody, geez, gold mine.
Yeah. So then from there, I had to work at Lowe's. Like I went and got a minimum wage job. I was like, yo, what am I going to do? I have no cash flow. And then I remember seeing there's a webinar for remote sales. This is a crazy story. Everybody listen up. So that day of the webinar, I actually had a shift at work, and there's like a blizzard in Canada. Like, nobody's even fucking going, but I still went, so I always show up, put the best foot forward. I attend the Webby, but I'm only there for 10 minutes. So I had OBS screen recorder. I hit the screen record button. After my shift is done, which turns out there's no customers at the store because there's a blizzard. Mm-hmm. I come back home. I click the screen recording. And I watch the whole webinar.
That is so nice.
I go ahead and there's this promotion at the end, a discount. The program's for sale for the next 10 minutes for $2,000. I'm like, yo, I need to buy this. And it's actually very crazy. I search up the link and I'm like, yo, there is no discount. There's like $2,000. And it was like a 10-second decision. Like, yo, should I buy this or not? And it was like at 12 a.m. at night. I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it. Pulled out my card. I wanted like a 2 payment plan split, 1,000 one month, 1,000 the other month, and I bought it. But the biggest thing was I didn't take like 10 minutes to think about it. It took me 10 seconds. It was like a split decision. And that's what we see in just like anybody successful. They don't just spend 10 hours thinking.
Yeah, you first do it, then you think about it.
Yeah, but a webinar sold me, and it hit all my pain points. I was watching it. It's like, are you stuck? Are you working in jazz? That's so ugly, man. This shit is like brainwashing me.
And it's crazy that you literally screen recorded it at work, went back home, and watched it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that just shows, bro, if the offer is good, if the content is good, it's like, bro, like,
Yeah.
but just people are just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
They're gonna buy it. So how did you get into sales?
Kind of always been in sales, right? I've done other door to door, and I also did a lot of elections, right? Funny story.
Yeah,
okay. Funny story. So I was 16, right? My parents went to Toronto for some party. One of my boys who lived on my street was throwing a little function. So I go downstairs to the basement, take my dad's alcohol. I pull up to the party, right? I got wasted. I come back. My parents are supposed to come home for another 2 hours. So I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna go to sleep, right? I come back. The second I walk in, one of my boys had to kind of carry me home, right? I was like 5 houses down. Come back. The second I go to my room, my mom comes, right? She instantly goes, looks at me. She knew I was fucking wasted. Yep. She sees my friend. My friend's scared. He was drunk. He ran out the house. I don't know where he went, right? And then my mom calls my dad. My dad came from party. He drank a little bit too, right? But he was fine, but he got pissed seeing how I was, right? And he was like threatening to call the cops, this and that, whatever. So it was a bad night. So I woke up, the morning, parents are downstairs, you gotta walk. It's a bit awkward, right? So I see my parents are sitting in the living room in the morning. I go down and my dad's like, this is what you're gonna do, right? There's someone I know. He's running for the elections, right? You're gonna go door knock for him. Couldn't say no. I'm like, all right. I went and I loved it. Knocking on random people's doors, just creating random conversations, really clicked with me. And then I did it again, right? Next time I was like a little team lead manager as well too. And then I did door to door as well. And what actually got me buying a sales program was I was running an email marketing agency, right? Could not retain clients at all. So I thought my sales was really bad. So I bought a sales program. And what I realized was not my sales, my fulfillment was bad. So I hated because I hated fulfillment, right? So I'm like, yo, if I could just get paid to just close the deals, I'd rather do that. And then, I just went all in.
Did the guy win the election, by the way?
No, he didn't. The first guy did it. The second guy did.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
So would you just knock on their door and like just get them to sign a paper or something that they were doing?
Yeah, like I'll tell them to vote if they had questions. Bro, I would be like 17. They'd be like 50-year-olds that's debating me politically. And I would just go ham.
That's crazy. That's your objection handling. We're freaking everything.
Yeah, like, oh my God, like, I had like people's dogs chase me and stuff. Like it was, and some people were so nice. They'll like invite me, give me like, give me a tea and stuff. It was crazy, man. I love the experience, you know?
That's dope. So did you do it before you went in sales? Did you do anything like outside of sales?
I actually was, or like, what do you mean outside of sales? Like, not sales related?
Yeah. Like you said, you worked at Lowe's. Well, like, well, they're like,
I literally,
how long did you work?
that was the only job I worked. Not that I needed to work it. Like, I had cash reserves, but my mindset was like, yo, I'm not making any money. And you need cash flow, whether that's $1,000 a month, $500 a month. It doesn't matter how much you have in your bank account. Like, this is just going down per month. That was the only job I worked. And it was after I made my first 6 figures. So it was kind of like a reverse kind of concept that most people wouldn't do. And I think just putting that fire there and just going working minimum wage, knowing I don't need this minimum wage, but I went and saw the people how miserable.
Yeah.
These guys, I remember coming in for my orientation and the guy was like, I was just like one of you guys 30 years ago.
Yo, get me the fuck out of here.
Here's a guy with me starting at Lowe's too. And he looked like he was like 19. I'm like, yo, how old are you? He's like, oh, I'm 30. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
This shit was like literally like some crazy shit.
For real. Like, bro, I know what you mean. I worked so many jobs, fast food, warehouse, retail, door to door. And like, it's crazy. Like, especially working the warehouse, man. Depressing, bro. So during COVID, right? COVID happened. I was trading and I also lost like 50, 60K trading, right? Ran out my first 6 figures and I fucking lost it all, right?
Crazy.
And then, so I went to the warehouse.
Trading, bro.
Yeah. Facts ain't better.
Hold until a mill, bro. That like literally.
This is 2020,
Bro,
you gotta think about it.
Bro, literally, like, you don't get it, bro. No, you don't get it. Like, you turn like 12K into like 100K in like 2 months. You're like, oh my God, I'm making $1 million in 2 months, right?
I'm taking no profit.
Yeah, you're not. I fucking lost it all. So went back to the warehouse. And that's actually where I met my boy Pranav too. But working the warehouse, Canada, it's cold. It's up north, right? So it gets dark super quick in the morning and at night, especially during the winter, right? So to wake up at 6 a.m., pitch black, go to the warehouse, bang a 10-hour shift, come back out 7 p.m. pitch black. And that was my life. Like, I was working full time, 5 days a week, 10, 12-hour shifts for like a year. I'm like, I can't do this. This is crazy. And then these people, like, I'm just saving money to invest it. Motherfuckers are being like, yo, I gotta feed my family and shit. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm just trying to buy like some nice clothes. You know?
So that was your point where you're like, dude, like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I can. But obviously, I still thugged through it. You know, I had to save what I could. I probably worked like 8, 10 jobs. I would say by just working, I probably made 6 figures, but I blew it all trying to learn a skill. You know, there's trading, drop shipping, a bunch of other things, right? But the thing is, like, during the time, I'd be like, fuck, man, like, here's a 2-week paycheck I just blew on trading or blew trying to run ads for my drop shipping store, right? But if I didn't do that then, I'll probably still be at the warehouse right now.
That's the biggest thing. Everybody here, you work a job, right?
Yeah.
I work a job. Bro, everybody's saying don't work a job, just skip the 9 to 5. Like, I put the fries in the bed.
In McDonald's, it's actual shit of you just actually putting fries in the bag. Literally, this station or fry station, like, you're like still in actual shit. It's like you're only in the fries. Put fries, strap them, and then put them in the bag. Like, it was an actual shit.
Yep. My point, like what you said, like really, that just made me go back to where I was working at the hospital as patient transport, and I would transport really sick people. I would transport dead people to the morgue. I would do all that shit, bro. And that's when me and Brian were reselling sneakers. And I remember one day I woke up. It was like just any other day, right? Freaking wake up, go to work, whatever. And like the day before that, like I had my second ever morgue run where I had to, get the dead body, take it to the morgue. And then I just remember waking up, I'm just like, bro, I just saw this person fucking dead in the hospital. I'm like, bro, like, I can't do this shit. So I remember I parked my car in the parking garage. I got outside. I walked to the very front door of Advent Health. And then I turned fucking back around. I didn't text my manager. I didn't text no one. I was just like, fuck it, bro. I gotta make this thing work. And then that was around the time when there was like a release. Me and Brian were getting the lightnings. That was around the time, lightning 4s. And then me and Brian, we literally like went to 0 in our bank account. Like, did you go to 0? Did you go to Second Evolution?
Lightning Force.
But we were just buying them. Like, they were just everywhere. Like, we were just buying them. And there was no
The thing is, even before I met you recently, but like I literally had 1,000 to my name. Like, just I built up from all this shit and like slowly little shoes, flipping 1-2 kicks, whatever, with fucking like a $200 paycheck from McDonald's. That was in my name. I knew I was able to get it back like later that night or the next morning. So like I was spending it all in the stores in the malls, fucking $1,200. I thought I was like, oh, fuck, I'm fucking broke. But I knew I'm getting it back plus a little profit either that night or the next morning. Like it was guaranteed. But bro, every day I was going to zero and back up every day.
Exactly. Like, bro, you got to take those risks.
100%. 100%.
Everybody here is just literally taking those. Like, I've had times where it's literally nothing. I'm
Facts.
spending everything in the bank,
Oh,
bro.
bro, a couple shoe releases, my account was negative, like straight up.
Like, yo, no, you know what would be scary? Like, when there's nothing in the bank and you got a fat credit card bill.
Yeah, that's what I was.
everybody's on credit. It's just
Like, everything counts.
I'm going straight debit, going steady for my debit account.
Mm.
I didn't have credit. Me neither, bro. I had credit for like $500 limit and $500. Bro, the thing is, bro, people didn't like tell me about like you can only spend like 30% of the thing. So, bro, I always paid out, but it was like I spent all $500 and then like when it was due, I paid the full balance. But like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. It's gonna fuck your credit score. Like, no one told me this, but I ran that through like 6 months, so that fucked my credit score.
I have a question for you guys, okay? When you guys were young, what did you guys want to be? Like, what career did you guys actually see yourself trying to do or wanting to do?
Funny, like every African American, I was going to the NBA. Bro, I was like, bro, I'm going to the league. And then, I quickly realized, like, nah. But no, you know what's crazy? So, one of my favorite ever podcasters, his name is Patrick Ben-Dave. He says that in order to be successful, like the most successful people in the world, they have someone who like loves them unconditionally. Like no matter what you do, like they love you. And that person was my mom. And then one person who like no matter what you do, like you earn their love. And that person was my dad, right?
Right?
So I remember after high school, right? I was like, bro, mom, like I'm going to league. All right, like just like but there was this academy, right? There was this academy that was like $45,000 something like to join, whatever. It was like a prep school academy to get you prepped, and then like a lot of the people from that academy, like they went D2, D1, right? Me and my mom, we toured the facility, and then I was like, she was like, okay, like, baby, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, mom, I'm going to the league, bro. I'm so glad I did not make her spend that 45 G's. She was like, all right, I'm going to go, go in debt, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, bro, like, dude, this woman's crazy. Like, this girl's crazy. But yeah, bro, I thought I was going to the league. So I thought I was going to do.
What about you, Adi?
Yeah, mine's kind of funny. I mean, like, when I was really young, sounds kind of stupid, but I want to be a construction worker. Because, like, no, when I was little, I grew up, there's people building houses behind me. And I would just sit there and watch them build the houses. Dig in the dirt. Like, I had mighty machines. I was one of those kids, man. Trying to build freaking houses. And then, like, I kind of grew up and I realized, like, yo, you should have a lot of, like, I'm not saying anything against that, but my parents were just like, go for this kind of career.
Yep.
But honestly, there was nothing I wanted to be. Like, I straight up did not know what I wanted to be. Like, there was nothing I had my eyes set on. I didn't want to be an accountant. Accounting is the only class I failed in high school, actually, but literally nothing. I started researching, like, how to make good money. It's like neurosurgeon, like, and go to school for 12 years.
Yeah. But at the over, yeah.
I'll find another way. I was like,
100%. Brian, what about you?
I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, I don't know if I can exactly pinpoint. I know at one point I wanted to be like chef, which is kind of crazy because I hate cooking now. Like I refuse to cook. Like simple as that. But like throughout high school, I wanted to go in the military. It's mainly for the reason my stepbrother went through the Air Force. My grandpa was in the Air Force, so like it kind of was around that. And then like my dad put me in R2C because I was like a bad kid, I guess, in middle school. Like I wasn't a bad kid, but he's like, you need more discipline. I'm like, all right. So like I was kind of forced into R2C for freshman year. And then after freshman year, it's like, it was kind of cool. I made friends with this. I'm like, all right, cool. So I just stuck through it. And then like after the second year, it's like, yo, I want to be in the military. And then stuck with that through high school. And so basically just before graduate, like second semester, senior year, then I'm like, yo, fuck this. I'm not being in the military.
That's crazy. I mean, I was indoctrinated by my mom to be a civil engineer my whole life until I realized I did not want to be a civil engineer. And then I knew I just wanted to make a shit ton of money, right? I'm like, what's the funnest way to make a lot of money? I was like, finance, bro, right? So took OD finance classes in high school, got a scholarship to a university for business, right? Banged out my bachelor's. I still have it. took online courses like you guys know Python, SQL. Yeah, so fintech was huge paying. So I'm teaching myself how to code while like studying for my exams and stuff. And then I go work in finance. And it was so fucking depressing and boring.
Yeah, it's a bank, right?
Yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, like, cause you know, finance is so big and it's like the 0.01% is going to be the big Wall Street finance bros, right? And that doesn't really come from hard work. That just comes from connections, right? No fucking connections in Brampton, right? So yeah, just like was a mortgage agent, worked at the bank. It was just boring, depressing. And then I'm just like, yo, I know you can make commissions. And there's a few guys 1-2 years older than me and they're working in the offices, right? That was my next route. I go in there, I'm like, yo, like, how much are you guys earning? They're like, yeah, it's good, like 40,000. I'm like, 40,000?
40,000 what?
A year. I was like, 40,000 Canadian too. That's like 31K USD probably, right? Yeah. And then I'm like, what? And then after that, I'm like, nah, fuck it, yo. And then just went into sales.
No, that's crazy. All right, so look, now let's talk about like actual tactical stuff, kind of things that we're doing for our clients and stuff right now. So I think one of the biggest things that I'm seeing like on Twitter and people struggling with is like really sales teams, right? Like whether they're not performing or like finding good sales reps or keeping sales reps like at KPI. So you two running the sales department for all of our clients and for our agency, like talk about if someone wants to make their first 6 figures a month, right? Or get past 6 figures a month per month, like what should they be doing on the sales side?
Well, which one? Get to just 6.
Let's go get 6 figures per month.
Yeah.
That's what the most people are.
I mean, I'll have KJ start because he actually helped these two get to their first for one of the offers, 6 figures per month. So he's the rep perspective. I think he'll have some good insights there.
I mean, when I came in, right, one thing that these guys had was leads, right? That's all I really cared about. I didn't really care about qualifier and I didn't even know about that, right? All I seen was leads and they gave me a dialer. I'm like, let's get to work, right? So me, I was just hungry. I just wanted to make money, right? So I just kind of went all in. And, you know, things I did is like, I just naturally, I would say I converse pretty well with people, right? So I was just able to translate that on the phone super fast. So first thing is, if you have a team that's not at 6 figures, don't look for talent, look for hunger, right? Because if they're hungry, they're willing to learn and you can make them a good talent, right? Have 2-3 hungry phone setters, right? A closer. Really, you know, you gotta take a little risk bringing them on, right? But, and just let them go ham. Then after, if you want to maintain 6 figures, then that comes with, honestly, Audie's better at that than me, right? With the management, right? But I would definitely say to get to your first 6-figure CC, you just gotta bring in hunger.
Yeah, that's super important because if you have the wrong person who's starting out to scale you up, you're never going to get there, especially if you're trying to hire quickly. With these guys, they give them a lot of options on who to pick, who to interview. And if they were to pick like the wrong person, having like a wrong hire could cost you 3 weeks or 4 weeks on your whole sales cycle, your whole business, right? So it's about bringing the right person on and making sure the rep's goals also align with the company's goals. So like you're not going to be able to bring on a rep who wants to make or is used to making 10K a month in commissions. They're not going to earn that if you're on the journey to 10. Let's say you're at 30K a month. You're best off finding someone who's used to making like 2K a month or maybe 3 a month. And they want to get to 10K a month and then they scale with you. And number 2 is incentivizing early talent, right? With startups, you can't just give like, if you're doing 30K a month, you can't just give bare minimum commissions. It really has to be a win-win for the whole team. And I've actually talked to pretty big teams who do this. KJ, you had a little bit more incentive than like an average sales team.
That's actually crazy that you brought that up because that's very true. Like you had a very big stake.
I did. But like, yo, me asking for that stake, like, you know, I just did it with full winging and confidence. But like, it kind of gave me a sense of like responsibility where it made me feel like, yo, it's not just a business I work for; it's a business I'm part of, right? And that made me want to go more ham and stuff, and also, you know, making more money. But, yeah.
So I like that's actually very
good. It's like if you're doing like 20K a month, you're giving your rep 5% for set it, you're making $1,000 a month. Like give them more percent, they're gonna, and as a byproduct, you'll get to like 40 a month, and they'll maybe double, and the business overall grows.
100%.
Like one thing that I did not know when I was just a rep for them is at a certain point, I was getting paid out more as a rep than you guys were as operator. And I didn't even know that, right? And that kind of shows like, you know, exactly what Audie says, right? If you're stuck at 20, 30K per month, like the last thing you should worry about is paying yourself.
Yep, exactly. One of my favorite things, like Brian actually taught me this earlier, right? So when me and Brian used to sell sneakers, we had plugs, right, in all the sneaker stores in Tampa, and they would give us sneakers. And the way that we beat everyone out is like, but Brian made us charge. We charged pretty much double what everyone else was willing to pay. Pretty much, like sometimes we would make like $5-10 a shoe, right? But like Brian always said, bro, you pay your people, right? So that's one of my favorite sayings now. I said, bro, we pay our people. If you pay your people,
I did it because I want to be big dick in the city.
Simple as that. Yeah, well, man, I want all the pairs. I want no one to get any pairs. I want to be big dick. Simple as that.
but even then, right? So like when you pay your people, bro, like they'll go above and beyond for you. Like they did stuff for us that like no one would be willing to do. And when you give a rep or a person in your company more stake, right? Obviously, we have to be good. You have to have the systems in place to make sure they're good, to make sure they keep getting training. But that's really big. I would suggest anyone to actually do that. Now that I think about it, I would suggest.
Yeah, and it's also about knowing who the person on your team is. Like nowadays, the interviews I have with reps, the ego. If you're coming from working at a regular job, I want to make 10K with right away. Like, like, what do you think this is? A charity? Like, he said a key thing. I didn't care how many. He said I didn't care if they're qualified or not qualified. I just wanted the leads. Every time I talk to reps on interviews, like, oh, how warm are the leads? How many warm leads am I doing? Is it outbound or inbound? Bro, why is that not offered? Question.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What?
That's a fact. That's
Like that stuff is actually just makes me think like, who's teaching this stuff? Like,
Oh, I know who's teaching it. I know who's teaching it. Yeah.
That's a fact.
I know, like full on, like personally, you know, I feel like all of us here have made a lot of money through different things, but I personally think sales is the easiest, quickest, fastest way to get to 10K for a month. And you know, what they do teach is like, hey, you can hit 10, 20, 30K months. You definitely can, but it's not given though. Right? You got to realize that's 1% of all reps hit that number, right? And when we do a hiring post, we get like thousands of reps applying, right? And, you know, the simple question is, if you're not willing to put in like 12-hour days for like a month straight to even make 5,000, you're never going to make 10K a month, you know?
So what are the qualities of a 1% rep? Right?
Oh,
If any rep's looking at this like, yo, I want to be a part of scaling whatever, I want to be a part of this organization, I'll offer that. But what's a quality of a 1%?
I mean, like, you know, the thing is, as a rep, I'm going to have a bias. I'd rather let you answer that because, you know, or, you know, you guys.
Answer. All right, I'll answer the answer. So what the best reps that I see for our offers, okay? When Katie first started closing for us as well, like what I noticed is that like the more as a sales rep you just know about things outside of sales, the better you are at sales. Just like know about the world, right? Just that comes from, I think, from what you said makes sense. Like all the conversations that you have with people on like the political trail, right? Mm-hmm. You just know things. Like Katie will be on a sales call with someone, they'll say something like he'll say something random. I'll be like, dude, what the? And then he'll just know what they're talking about, like trucking or like freaking, I don't know, Airbnb. Like he just knows things, right? Brody, what about reps? Same exact thing. Like they just know things about the world, right? Know the things about food.
And the biggest thing about that point that I want to add in is just reps who take initiative on just doing shit on their own.
Yeah.
Right? Like he figured out a lot about his ICP, you know, their truck drivers. They didn't have to tell him to do that, right? So if you want to bring on an A player, they're going to be their own problem solver. These guys, if you could find them, your business will grow on its own because they don't need you to babysit them for everything. They'll come up with solutions like this. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say like when I first started an offer, I had one onboarding call. This is like a DM sent an offer and I was just given the inbox, right? I went into the Instagram. I started scrolling on every post from like 7 months ago and messaging 200 people at a time who liked it 7 months back. I never ran into another rep who does stuff like that nowadays. You know, no one's creative enough to go outside of the box and figure out different ways to message.
Yeah.
You gotta be creative. Like, name a creative thing you've done to get a close.
Okay. So there was this one lady, right?
The most creative close I've ever heard. Like, no one can talk.
So there's this next lady. She kind of had her own online business, right?
When I hear this scrolls, Brian sucks. This is a rep, right? If you're a rep watching this shit, like this is the shit I need you to do for our clients.
So there's this lady. She worked a job, but she also had an online business on Shopify, right? I used to do email marketing. So while actually going through the pitch, I just started giving her sauce on how to make her Shopify store better and convert more with emails, right? And then I dropped the price for the upsell. she was super hesitant, right? And I just bought her product. You know, her Shopify store, I just went in, I bought whatever it was, right? And it was probably like $80, right? At the end of the day, I probably made $500 from that,
Exactly.
right? And then, you know, that showed her full trust, full conviction. She bought it as well. You know, she bought the upsell. Crazy thing is, and then I closed her for email marketing services as well.
See, and you did that on your own money, out of your own pocket. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't you also do, what was it? I don't know if it was you or one of our other reps, where they paid for the Uber for them to actually go to the bank. And
I was saying the first launch.
It was the first launch, right?
I don't know what
you don't remember which rep it was, but shout out to you, whichever rep it was. But yeah, they paid for the Uber for the prospect to actually go to the bank, deposit the money because they had it all in cash. This is just the creative stuff you need to be doing as a sales rep, actually going above and beyond. And touching on what you were saying about A players, like it truly is a night and day. Like let's say that if you're a coach right now, you have an operator in your business, right? Like we dealt with clients our most recent client, who we literally took her from $40K per month to $100,000 per month within 26 days. She paid someone, I think they paid someone like multiple 5 figures, right? To make nothing.
Yeah.
They did nothing.
With nothing.
At all. And we just came into their business, right? In 26 days, they did $100,000. Like that's the power of an A player. That's the power of like of bringing on a super team. Like your business is just a 9-day difference. It's not the same.
I actually saw someone make a video like this guy's, he's pretty well known in sales and pretty sure he's a great guy. He made a video saying his offer could have done like an extra 500K if he had better closures. Now, the reason this is such an important topic is all of our clients make so much money just due to how good the talent is and our talent retention. And the reason it's such a big point is because of how leveraged it is. One A player rep will be worth like 4, 5, 6, 7 B, C, D player reps. One rep could contribute to 50 or 60% of your cash collected per month. And it's the highest leverage point because one person is worth 5, 6 reps in one.
Yeah.
That means less managing, less hiring, and more trust in the person.
Exactly, right? And advice I have for people who've been stuck in DM setting, or even closing, and they want to go higher up, you have to take initiative, right? You have to do something different that contributes to the business without you being told, right? Like it's so crazy, you know, sometimes like when we are managing reps, you know, there's some reps who do that, and there's some reps who make 15K a month and they're fine with that. You know what I'm saying? And you got to baby them still. Like, you know, like, buddy, you've been closing for 2 years. You know, I still got to remind you to do your EODs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like a rep like that, yeah, his skill sets might be good, but like, is he a good fit for the company? You know, because when you do build a sales team, you want to motivate a sales team. You know, you don't want a sales complacent, satisfied sales team. You want a sales team that always wants to make more and more money each month, right? And taking the initiative of like doing extra things, maybe if you're a closer, training some of the setters, right? Helping with script revamping, right? Hosting training sessions together, right? Maybe asking, one thing I would do a lot when I was a rep is like, let's increase the price. Let's increase the price.
Yeah, give me suggestions to marketing. And another thing is what all of our client offers, the closer, bro, I mean, she bought all the setters coffee, you know, just stuff like that. Like just that.
Yeah. I also say the biggest thing I see in A players is how communicative they are and how much they talk to management. There's reps I see, they don't talk at all. They don't reach out. Like we have to reach out sometimes, and we mark these people as some of the reps who need to be either cut or put on a performance improvement plan. But the top earners we know on our offer, all of them, and even you, like they always come back like, hey, what could I have done better? Hey, this happened on this call today. Hey, I didn't hit KPIs today. This is the reason. If you see that in anybody on your team, that's an A player sign. Just being so communicated. It's just like a relationship. You got to be letting your team know what's going on.
But I think we spoke quite a bit about sales. Shift into marketing, okay? Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about is there's so many of these operators fucking everywhere, right? But, you know, there's certain operators that, you know, I'm not going to name them, that we all know that have been in the game for a while. That's because they're able to crack paid ads, which 99% are not able to do, right? They'll probably have 1-2 successful clients, 1-2 big launch, make a nice 40, 50,000, you never hear from them again, right? So like, why do you think we perform at such a high level? Like, what do you think that you guys do that, you know, helps us maintain or perform at such a high level?
All right, I'll let Brian talk about that. We'll let paid ads.
to perform at a high level, it's because we really just came into the gate only paid ads. Like we didn't even think of like organic marketing or like it wasn't even a thought in our mind, at least in my opinion. Like I did not even think about it. Like when we came into marketing, like agency, whatever, like I didn't even think like, oh, let's use organic. Let's find someone. Even when we think of like a shark, someone with like 600K followers, we're thinking running ads. Like we're not like, it's not a thought in our mind like, oh, let's fucking milk their organic dry. So like coming out the gate of only paid ads, skill just becomes good. Like that's your only metric you're using to scale the company. You're just going to become good at it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that a lot of people, if let's say that like Brian's saying, if you have 600,000 followers, you're like, bro, I mean, what's the reason that I need to run paid ads? Like, why should I run paid ads? Well, if you continue to exhaust your organic audience, right? It's like a well, right? The well is going to run dry at some point, right? It may not be this year, it may not be next year, but the well will run dry, right? It happens all the time with organic marketers, right? I mean, with organic content. Now, granted, like there are some people like, Elon Godzi, he says that, bro, I don't do any paid ads, but for all his launches, like he runs paid ads, right? All those guys that tell you I don't run paid ads, it's like,
Bro, that's marketing though. Like you'll see ads from another big marketer talking about like, oh, you don't need a sales team. But they go through this funnel. But
sales team. You're like, what are we talking about? You really got to watch what people do and not what they say. There's a reason that Iman is running ads because he knows that paid ads are one of the best ways to scale any offer, any business, right? And if you can crack paid ads, you just have a system, right, that we specialize in that can just reliably bring in leads and customers into your business on autopilot without you need to post, TikTok videos and all this stuff, which is great. And I honestly suggest for anyone to continue posting organic content, right? When you have the mix of the two, it's just the synergy is great, right? Sorry.
You know what's funny? So you guys shit on organic marketers. I shit on organic closers.
Yeah, so we talk about, dude, if you're a closer, you cannot close ads from, if you leave it aside, you guys said
That's standard, yeah.
dude, like, yeah, bro. If you're an organic closer, it's like, to be honest, if I'm a client, I'm a coach right now, right? And then your closers are just like only closing organic leads. It's like,
it's laydowns,
bro. It's like,
it's just straight laydowns, right?
if I'm you, I'm just gonna be like, dude, why would I take these guys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it makes sense when you're throwing paid ads into the equation, right?
And listen, when you guys said, when Brian said like, oh, they didn't even know about organic marketing, right? When I hopped in your CRM, I didn't know what the fuck paid ad leads, organic leads was, cold leads, warm leads, nurtured leads. Yeah, all I care about, it's a lead, Leo.
Why is that a question, reps? Like, what lead? That's focus. As soon as they say, "Oh, it's paid ads," I can see the facial expression change, and a lot of these reps, like what?
Yeah, and then like since all the leads were, I'm not gonna lie, they're super cold leads, they're super unnurtured. I didn't know any of that, right? So I just went in the mindset of like, this is all I got.
Going for your first offer, why do you care?
Yeah,
Exactly. Ask that question.
He's passionate about that.
Because I take so many interviews with reps, I'm just like, bro, you guys are just never. You guys are back in the chocolate while putting fries in the bath. Give it a look.
Yo, these clothes are talking about like, I want to take like 3 calls a day and make that 20,000 a lot. Make it 20,000 a month. I'm like, not on this offer, buddy.
I mean, what ninja offer? Facts. No, I ain't offer doing any type of volume. The Bali closers, bro. Bali closers.
The truth is, with sales, it's a full-time thing.
It is 100%.
If you're gonna work out one of our offers on one of our teams, like bro, you're working 5 to 6 days a week, right? You're gonna get leads.
No, I don't 5, but you just get 1 day off.
Yeah, you just get 1 day off.
Right. That's the expectation, right? Yeah, it's 1 day off, bro. This is like, bro, why you need more than that?
It's a good point too. I was telling the reps, on the team the other week, and I was sitting to myself because, after the launch, we had like a day or two off. And when I had the day or two off, I'm like, yo, what the fuck do I even do? Like, yo, I have like 4-hour block. I just got bored. So I told the reps, like, you guys might want to have a break, but when you're on the break, what are you doing? You're just scrolling TikTok. There's nothing to do but work. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh shit. Then you had like an epiphany. Because I had an epiphany thinking about that. What else are you going to do? You have a 4-hour block. You can sip pina coladas in Bali.
You know what's crazy? Talking about them Bali, Thailand closers, them closers that make 4 or 5,000 a month thinking they cracked it.
I mean, yeah, because your lifestyle is like 800 a month.
That's true. That's true. It's just like, you know, like
The king over there was that.
exactly right. It's like, you know, I mean,
Easy mode.
they did. You know, they're organic closers that make 4 or 5,000 a month living in Thailand. But you know, we're paid ad closers making 20, 30K a month living in the States. You know,
the actual closers. All right, so let's talk about some things that we're doing right now in order to scale our clients to 500K, $1 million per month. We haven't had a client get to $1 million a month yet, but we 100% will, right? So like getting a business to do that type of volume, right? So Brian, you talk about from the marketing end, but for you guys from like the sales side of things, like what does it take to make that type of money? Because if you're making 500K a month, 300, 400, 500K a month, $1 million a month, I mean, you're a top 0.001% business in the entire world, right? So talk about kind of what that takes in order to get there.
I mean, obviously we haven't got there yet, right? So I can't fully say what it takes there, but we're definitely headed on track.
No. I mean, these are 500,000. I mean, on a launch, right? But like, I mean, it's very similar ways of thinking.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, what I feel like what helped us manage our sales team was the different roles that we have. Like Audie's job, I could never do. You know, I tried doing it didn't work out for me, right? And like all of us just being able to only focus on what we do, right? Not getting other people. Not trying to get in other people's roles, right? And just solely focus on what we do and really go all in on that. I feel like that's the key, right? You know, just like me and Audie both handle sales, right? But, you know, he looks at statistics, day-to-day management, right? I look at skills, performance, and how to make them better, right? And just only being focused on that one thing gives you so much time to just focus on that one thing. So you're going to make it as good as possible, right? And listen, like one thing is, you know, when you see people like, you know, there's 4 of us in this business, right? Before I used to look at it as like, damn, more partners, money's getting split more ways, this and that. But now I'm so happy because I'm like, yo, like everybody here is good at something I'm so shit at.
Yep.
Right. And just being able to leverage that, it's going to take us much further than us doing it by ourselves.
Yep. Exactly. So that's like, that would be my advice to really, but actually I'll say that after. So Brian, from like the marketing side of things, right? In order to hit those levels of like, of revenue, those levels of cash collected, what could, if a business is watching this, like what are some things that they could do right now in order to make that step close to email?
Marketing or KDAs?
Yeah, well, that's all we do.
Go. Oh, no, we're getting marketers. Fair. Paid ad side, just speed on pumping out creatives. Like to hit those numbers, you got to pump out so many creatives. Especially when you're spending the amount of money you're spending on ads to get to that level, creatives will flop so quick. We have a bunch of creatives that will do good on low spend, and then as soon as you put like even $1,000 to it in a day, it's just a bend. So
why is that? If you're asking why is that happening to people when they spend more money on an ad and it starts to flop? Why is that?
It's just not a good converting ad. Like it's good on low spend because it's not seeing a lot of people. So now when you push, obviously spending more money, seeing more people, that make people really fuck with ads. Simple as that. So then it flops.
Okay.
That's my train of thought. What I was going to say after that, bro. You interrupted me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But all right, I was on a roll on it. I'll go back into sales with while he's kind of rejogging his memory because you asked both of us. So getting to 100, you said getting to 100.
No, scaling past. No, we don't scaling past 100,000.
Yeah, so scaling past. I would always see videos where it's like they ask billionaires, millionaires, what's the hardest skill set? And they're like managing people.
Oh my
Like how hard could that be? So when we start scaling, the way I look at it like this is like a skyscraper. It's easy. I think anybody here, if they learn and stuff, you could probably build one level of any kind of house, floor, any kind of, and I don't know, any kind of building, right? I remember I was living alone. I'm looking at a skyscraper. I'm like, yo, these guys have 100 floors, 100 different, 200, 300 bathrooms, elevators. There's all
the wiring and stuff.
Right? It's all working simultaneously. I'm like, okay, building a house versus building a skyscraper, 2 different things, 2 different skill sets, 2 different kinds of money involved. A house could be a couple $100K, a building could be a couple $100 million. Cash flowing a couple of million a month, right? So scaling really, it's like learning how to manage all these people has definitely been the biggest thing because it's not like we have small teams. One of our sales teams, which is a full female sales teams, as of yesterday, we now have 10 appointment setters on that team, right? And learning how to manage and build systems around tracking the performance, tracking our statistics, that's definitely been the biggest thing we have been focusing on to make sure, everything is in place. Because, can't really rely on your memory once you are scaling.
Yeah.
Everything written out.
Yeah, definitely. Like, managing people, man, such a hard skill to learn, man. Like, I feel like it's an ongoing skill for anyone, right? And then like when you say like these skyscrapers, right? Like sometimes I'm driving down the city and I just look at these offices. I'm like, yo, like these are the billion-dollar businesses are managing thousands of employees, right? Operating simultaneously. I'm like, what? Like how? Like it just amazes me. Like, what are the systems involved to scale to that point?
It gives you so much, like running, especially on the launch. Like when I saw it, how many reps did we have on that launch?
13.
13 reps, 13 people. We had 13 people every day fighting for the same cause, the same goal, the same vision, showing up giving, some more effort than others, right? But putting effort in for the same cause, right? Like companies like Apple, like Nvidia, bro, Tesla, Amazon,
Ordering a package at 12 a.m. and you get to pick like the early morning option. Like, how does that thing
all to my house? It gets you the next day. Like, bro, the people at the top communicating to the people one layer down, which communicates to the people one layer down, all the way to the warehouse. It all came from up there, right? And the same message was communicated, right? All the way down to where you were at the warehouse. That's an insane.
That's nice. I like it. Like you guys know broken telephone.
Yeah.
Like how does that not happen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, did you remember what you were gonna say about marketing?
I was attuned to what you guys were talking, so I was not.
Well, like it's about talking about managing people.
They covered it, you know what I'm saying? Manage people's are, I can't do it.
yeah. I like, yo,
That's also, I'm not a big people person, so like if somebody pisses me off, like I'm just if a rep is fucking up, I'm gonna just tap on. Simple as that. Like that's why I won't be good at managing the team. If they fuck up, I'm calling them out. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? If they're getting called out in front of everyone, so simple as that. It's the best thing to do, but that's exactly what I would do. So.
And then like when I see like those big Amazon warehouse, I'm like, damn, I'm complaining about managing 20 people. This motherfucker's managing 50,000
people. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So I think that people management is 100%. If you're looking to scale an organization, something that
It's not possible to scale without managing and having systems. It's physically, you can only do so much under a couple of people.
Yeah. Listen, we've talked about marketing, we've talked about sales, we've talked about operating. But why should coaches do webinars?
Oh, yeah, perfect. The perfect segue into our business, which is just scaling webinars. So the reason why, if you're running any kind of funnel, if you're running a VSL, low ticket, mid ticket, like whatever you're running, why webinars are the superior vehicle in order to run is because of two things. All right. So the way that you scale an offer, obviously people need to buy from you, right? On a webinar, people can buy from me twice. They buy with their money and they buy with their time. Okay. So the funny thing is, even if someone doesn't purchase on your webinar, like you've made an impression on their life for like 90 minutes. Like they know who you are. And I think Greg Cardone spoke about I watched a video about him. He was talking about frequency. I was talking to some people that know his media bar. I think you were in Miami. We were talking about them. Grant says Grant doesn't track anything in his business, but one thing, which is Google Analytics. How many people per month search up his name? He's found that there's a direct correlation to how many people searching his name every month to how much money he makes. So he doesn't give a fuck about his ads manager, his sales team, every single meeting. He's like, yo, pull up the Google searches. How many people search my name today, right? The absolute frequency you need for people to pay attention to you, to be able to buy your product is insane. And you get that frequency within a 60 to 90 minute presentation, right? Instead of a VSL, which is 15 minutes or any other offer, right? They now know who you are. I mean, you could speak about it in the sales side of it when they're calling these leads and then you mention the offerer's name. Okay, there's an immediate affinity there, right? Oh, yeah, I remember that. I was at that one,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's a night and day difference on the sales team side of things, on the marketing side of things, on the entire business side of things, when you incorporate webinars into your business. And also with the webinar, it doesn't need to be like your core business, right? So right now we're going to introduce like a couple of different funnels into our clients' businesses, like evergreen challenge funnel, which Bryant was, kind of introducing that to us. So we're going to try that out in one of our clients' businesses. But you can run a webinar alongside another funnel, right? So it could either be the core vehicle or if it just be a supplementary vehicle in order to add, easily an extra 6 figures into your business. If you're doing 150K, 200K off a VSL funnel, just run a webinar. It's one time a week or one time a month, right? Then you can run it. And then you could collect 6 figures given the economics of the funnel are in place. So it's like, it's really a no-brainer. Like you should just run it. Like if you're not running today, it's sad. Like you're losing a lot of money just by not. And another thing, Brian can just go on, bro. It's just like, bro, Brian brought this up to me too when we were on one of our marketing calls. It's like, bro, so there's 3 parts to your webinar funnel, right? Most funnels, there's like a couple core pieces that if those pieces are wrong, like you're not making money. On a webinar funnel, selling high ticket, it is so hard not to make money, right? Because you have things that happen after the webinar, during the webinar. Like if people show up to your webinar, but they don't buy, you have the sales team that's just going to call all the leads, right? They're warm. They're going to get them on sales calls, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So they're making money from there, right? Let's say that, your show up rate is not as high on your webinar, but for the people that do show up in your room, right, you have a high conversion rate. So more than end up booking call, which end up closing. It's very difficult. Obviously, given you got to be working with the right people, which way you have to be working with us. Click the link down below and book in a sales call, right? And then you're going to speak with this guy, and then we'll teach you how to install a web acquisition system into your business and get 5 to 20 high ticket clients in the next 14 days. I digress though. But yeah, just 3 different parts of every business. Yeah, it's a W pitch, right? 3 different parts of your business, 3 different parts of the funnel that any of them could go wrong and you'll still make money. So just run one.
Pretty bulletproof, to be honest.
For real.
Yeah, so we just got to lead it from one of our own funnels. And Tate is in call.
Systems for biz.
Okay, cool. You were about to say something. Did you forget?
Like, that was a 10-minute call, bro. Yeah, I would have got too.
I forgot.
I don't know what the fuck we were talking about before. Like, you were pitching the webinar shit. Yeah.
I'm dead.
But, yeah, no, I completely lost my train of thought.
You're right. We were talking about the webinar. We spoke about coaches running our business, X, Y, and Z. Spoke about good talent, good reps. Covered that.
Here's a really good topic. So one thing that we notice when someone wants to work with us, right? Even coaches have limiting beliefs, right? A lot of coaches, you guys are business owners. You guys have taken risks. And it kind of bamboozles me when I'm on a call with a coach and he's like, I really want to work with you guys, but I just paid this guy $2,000 to run my sales or ads for the next month. And I want to test it out, even though hasn't been working for the last 2 months, right? So I get it. You spent the money, you want your value, but do you think you're losing or earning more money working with that guy for another month, right? And for some reason, I can't wrap my head around why coaches think like that, right? You got to take some losses in order to find the wins. If you want to continue working with that even for $2,000, don't expect your business to scale.
Yep.
Don't expect it to scale.
Yeah, it's a fact. Even I'm pretty sure all of our clients have been burnt, but
and we know who they've been burnt by.
Exactly.
There's 2 people. There's 2 guys who's.
They didn't just get burnt. They got hit with the fucking flamethrower.
Yeah.
For multiple 5 figures.
Banged out for 20, 30K setup offers to lose more money.
You know what I mean? So it's I definitely think, obviously, you could do your research on us, right? There's links down below, or you can watch everything, right? There's this YouTube video. All our social medias are going to be down below as well. But what I like to say is, the most recent client that we signed on for our setup offer, when I was on the phone with him and his mom, I just told him we're all safe. You're in safe hands. You know what I mean? Generally, obviously we don't make any guarantees because, it's against the FTC. But if I were to make a guarantee, right, no one has lost money with us yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and never will.
Say that you got knock on wood.
Yeah.
Didn't say yet.
But our clients just don't lose money. And it's not just because, and kind of like KJ said, it's because for the price of what we charge, for the price you could get one person to do it, you now have an army of 4 people to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Bro, imagine, you're...
And the thing is, listen, it's not an army with all soldiers. It's an army with a general, a commander, a lieutenant, Exactly, right? When you do come work with us, right? With a lot of these other guys, it might just only be a media buyer. It might only be a funnel builder. It might only be a sales guy, right? For us, you get all pieces of the pie for the same price.
For the same exact price.
At a cheaper rate.
Exactly.
and still see results.
Exactly.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What? So like,
It's crazy. It's crazy. It been making me think like, yo, are we like cheap, bro? Like,
I was gonna say, let's take down this video when we do raise our prices out.
yeah, yo, when we first signed on, one of our clients, like me and Brian, we really told him, like, bro, like you are getting us at a discount. Like when we first signed, we told him, bro, like you're getting us at a discount right now. So like, you gotta lock this price in. Honestly, everyone is working with us. We're at a discount. A very heavy,
we are.
heavy discount.
We are.
Right? So it's like working with Amazon when frickin' May first started or whoever that you work with, right? So,
And I put it that way because now you seem like we're too fresh.
well, yeah. I mean, we had been doing this for a while, right? Like, you know, in between all of us, like multiple years of
I
experience.
mean, at the end of the day, it's not about being the newest or the oldest. It's about being the best in the game.
Yes, that's it.
You know? And listen, there could be a sales team with one guy crushing. As soon as a new guy walks in and he's a demon, he could take over that spot in a month.
Easy.
And listen, do you think they're going to give a fuck about what he did before? No. He's performing and he's top right now. That's all that matters, right?
100%. Yeah, anything else you're gonna say if people are interested in working with us?
Yeah, it's another thing, reps. Listen, if you're on offers that isn't giving you the support, good incentives, training, and most importantly, room for growth, right? You know, there's a lot of talented reps I see out there for some reason committing to a bad offer, right? When their talents, you know, you guys have the talents, but you guys don't think it because you haven't been given the opportunity to show those talents, right? So if you're a rep who's honestly been in sales for at least over 4 or 5 months and you haven't hit 10K a month, apply. We'd love to put you on one of our offers and get you to that first 10K, you know, and that makes me happy. A lot of reps have worked with us.
Their first
I have first 10, 15.
Hey, what? No, scale coaches to 6-figure scale, sales reps to 5 figures.
Isn't that bro? All in one. This is crazy. This is crazy. But like I think you made a great point about like a lot of offers, they don't give their reps room to grow, right? KJ was a setter, right? Became the best closer, right? One of our setters for another offer was a setter, was the best setter. Now he's a closer, right? So like there is room to grow in all of our
We want our reps to grow.
Yeah.
If you, the last thing you want is someone to be in the same spot, which we literally interview people who've been setting for a year. Are you setting
Yeah, right.
for a year?
And like the next thing is like, you know, a lot of people, you know, look at reps as like another piece in the cog, right? We love our reps, you know. We actually took 2 of our guys out. One came to Toronto, right? Actually first, you know, we took, yeah, we took 2 of our reps to Miami for one of their birthdays, took them to Poppy Steak and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. and then listen, you know, one of them came to Toronto from America. We took him out, took him to a nice castle dinner, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we want to do that for you guys, right? It's just that the people you're working with right now, do they want to do that for you? Probably not. That's why you're stuck in the same place.
Yeah, anything for people who may want to work with us?
Yeah, if you're a sales rep and you're, you know, looking for an offer, we'll attach the link in the bio so you guys can apply. And, you know, we treat our reps as a partner. We don't treat them like, I speak to a lot of interviews with reps from big offers where they're just like, dude,
It's like a 9 to 5.
feel like a number, like another inmate in a prison cell. Like, here's my number, you know, you're here 1 week, do your work. You know, like our reps are like our partners.
Yeah, and like, you know, there's a huge stigma of hire fast, but fire even faster. Listen, that's true to a point, but the reason you're firing so fast is not always the reps because your company culture fucking sucks,
Yes.
right? The reason we're able to retain reps and through multiple offers, right, moving reps around offers is because at the end of the day, they know whichever offer they go, A, they're going to make money working with us, and B, they just love working with us as well.
Yeah. 100%. What about you, Brian? Anything for people who want to work with us? Coaches that want to work with us?
Stop letting your coaching business flop for another fucking month. Book a call.
Facts. All right, I think this was a lot. But you guys got anything else to say before we go?
Your business is failing. Work with us. That's simple. Cut the bullshit.
I mean, listen, scaling webinars, right?
If you're watching this, your business is clearly failing.
Like, yeah, if I'm not gonna lie, if you're a coach that stay to the end of this call, like end of this video, I mean, you got too much time because you don't have enough fulfillment because you don't have enough high ticket clients. So book a call. You know, we'll keep you busy so you don't have to watch these YouTube videos.
Yeah. That's good. You got anything else?
That's about it.
No, 100%. So appreciate you guys for watching, right? So the next time that we have this talk, we're gonna be, what was the next think who said September? What do you say, September?
Yeah, no, so Toronto in August.
August.
Yeah. And then for Q4, we'll think of something that
LA, Switzerland, beach trip.
Hollywood Hills. I'm down for an LA trip.
Well, I like that idea.
Oh, skate trips?
That's Switzerland.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I bet. Sounds good.
I was going to get there regardless. Might as well make a fucking business trip. Good write off.
All right, bet. Sounds good. All right, I got this sign off right here. Guys, Lucky. Appreciate you guys.